we've got to make sure that they stay there.
Welcome, YouTube. DFS Quarry back with our very first NHL DFS slate breakdown of the season. Tomorrow, October 3rd, 4-game slate. Looking to get into it here pretty heavy and have some fun playing some DFS hockey. With me tonight, we got Jared at JSMiner87 on Twitter. He's going to be our DFS analyst, so to speak, tonight, breaking down the games. How are you, Jared?
Doing quite well tonight. How are you?
Good. Real good. Looking forward to breaking down the slate while you're here. And we got a special guest tonight with us from Yinzer on Hockey on his YouTube channel, Yinzer on Hockey, here on YouTube. Justin, at SkiMiner36. You can find him there on Twitter. He's going to give us our hockey analyst breakdown, so to speak, and break it down from that side. Not so much a DFS breakdown for him. It's going to be more of an actual hockey play game breakdown, just like your everyday average, NHL analyst you might watch on TV. So with that being said, may as well jump right into the games. Justin, how you doing tonight? You good?
What's up, y'all? Doing all right?
All right, good. Move on to the games. I mean, like I said, Justin, we're looking for, hockey perspective, matchup breakdown for us here. First game, Montreal going into Toronto, take on the Leafs. We got the Leafs hovering around the -240 favorite, and a 6 over/under on the goals scored. What do you think of this game?
This game, from an opening night hockey perspective, I think what you can really expect here is you're going to expect a lot of goals from a team like Toronto. They're an offensive juggernaut with the addition of Tavares, Matthews, Marner. And once they get Nylander back from restricted free agency, they'll be even more powerful. Their power play is phenomenal. I look for Toronto to score quite a few goals, especially against a team like Montreal that lacks center depth. So you'll look for the possession game to go in favor of Toronto. Curious to see how Carey Price bounces back this year after his disappointing 2017-18 campaign.
I wouldn't disagree with a disappointing season, so to speak, last year. Jared, DFS perspective, pretty much break down the game, break down your picks. What are you thinking here?
Story of the Toronto team, as Justin said there, we got an offensive juggernaut. A dangerous team last year with Austin Matthews, got a little more dangerous this year, adding John Tavares for sure. I think most of the year you're going to see a one or the other, pick your poison, so to speak. Budget-wise, salary-wise, I don't think you're ever going to be able to play a Tavares-Matthews combo. It's just you would really leave little room for your other positions there. But preseason really showed Tavares fitting in well. A lot of shots were taken. I think they had like third most shots in preseason there. So likewise, I think you're gonna stack a power play unit. If you want Austin Matthews with another winger there, whether you want Kadri or there. Or the Tavares. They're both going to be the #1 power play. I think they have Tavares in the red line, according to a source that I saw. But I think Toronto is going to be my heavy play. If I'm looking at anywhere Montreal, I think you're Kotkaniemi, I think his name is. He had a pretty solid preseason there for Montreal, along with Max. Was it Max Domi? He's coming back off of that suspension, so he's going to be looking to be a force there as well.
I would agree with that. I mean, Domi, can be a one-man wrecking machine. You know, I think he'll be all right. As far as myself, I don't really think that I want any part of Montreal. Yeah, I'm with you guys. I think I'm on the Toronto side. You know what I mean? I'm 4-1, 5-1 game here in favor of Toronto. If I have any interest whatsoever, really, my main target for Toronto, Frederik Andersen, guys. I mean, this guy is a machine. Look at this right here, 2,227 saves last year.
Yeah, he faced more shots than any other goaltender in the NHL last year, so he's used to an abundant workload.
Yeah, I mean, this guy is crazy, and with the release of McElhinney, and basically a rookie, Garrett Sparks starting behind him, Frederik Andersen's in for a great season, I think. Justin, can you talk me on to anybody from Montreal? I mean, I like the Domi call, maybe.
If there was anybody that I would look at for Montreal, it's going to have to be Carey Price. I mean, he's probably going to face anywhere from 35 to 45 shots. If he can keep it, a 1 or 2 goal game, then it's possible. But what you look for early in the year is the power play opportunities are a little bit higher earlier in the year, so you're going to get a little bit more penalty calls. You're going to get more power play opportunities. So if Montreal can mitigate the power play opportunities from Toronto, then it's possible this game stays closer than people expect.
Jared, any interest in Price?
Price is out there, and I don't want to downplay the effect that Shea Weber can have. They just put the captain tag on there as a defenseman. A little higher price, probably a little higher price point for a defenseman in the league, but the guy's a captain for a reason. He's certainly had games where he's changed a game himself.
Yeah, but Weber's out until like January with an injury. He just had surgery on his somewhere on his lower body. He had surgery, so he's out till like January.
There you go. That's why we got you on here. Weber's out.
And it's going to be quite high. I would predict high ownership from the Toronto team across all contests.
Yeah, and I would totally 100% agree with that. Let's move on to the next game. Justin, Boston at Washington, -120 in the favor of Washington. 5.5 total score. Goals scored is what they're predicting. Go ahead, break it down. I mean, what's the matchups we're going to look at here?
Well, what you're going to look at in this matchup here is going to be strength against strength, and that's going to be Boston's top line of Bergeron, Marchand, and Krejci on that top line against Washington's top line, and who's going to dominate that possession battle. Bergeron's one of the best face-off guys in the league. Alex Ovechkin's one of the best at generating shots in the league. So that's a matchup you're going to look at. The other thing that I'm going to be looking at in this matchup is what kind of a start Washington has coming out after the there's going to be, a lot of emotion riding on the banner raising ceremony, things like that. What kind of energy are they going to be able to carry over from those pregame festivities into the game, and how do you replace the energy that a guy like Tom Wilson brings to your lineup, assuming he does get suspended tomorrow, as he has a hearing with the Department of Player Safety tomorrow morning. How do you replace his energy and his motivational level that they have and expect from him?
I would agree with that. I think everybody can, almost all but a foregone conclusion, right? That he's going to get multiple game suspension. like to even have the in-person meeting with the league, that normally carries at least a 5-game suspension even to have that meeting. So I think we can pretty much rest assured that Wilson will definitely be out tomorrow. We should find out sometime tomorrow afternoon what the results of the meeting, the hearing is going to be, right? About 3:00 tomorrow afternoon, somewhere around there.
Yeah, the hearing is scheduled for 9:15 tomorrow morning, so we should hear something around lunchtime tomorrow, East Coast time, as to what we expect of the suspension to be. And I've seen a lot of analysts pegging it anywhere from 10 to 25 games. I'm hedging in the 15-game area because it is his third offense in less than a year. So his third suspension in less than a year. So that's something that they'll have to consider moving forward.
Fair enough. And Jared, Boston, Washington, DFS gold mine, right? There's going to be points here. Lots of them, I think. What are you expecting?
Yeah, this is going to be a great game, like you said. You have really Boston coming off a pretty phenomenal year last year. I believe they were division winners. So they got the talent. They got the power. They added a real couple good, solid guys the past couple years. And mid-price guys, if you are watching that salary, I'm looking down at that David Pasternak pick. He's a solid play. You got Charlie McAvoy, Jake DeBrusk there. I'm thinking, as Justin was saying, top line versus top line battle. You might find a lot of good, fair price guys in this one that can not break the bank. Especially looking at preseason, those that did follow the preseason. Holtby did not have a good preseason. Call that what it is. Obviously, it's preseason. Washington did play a lot of hockey into, real late in the season last year by winning that Stanley Cup. But plays on both sides. Like you said, Tom Wilson's going to be out, but they do have, I think, Kuznetsov's going to actually center his line up with Ovechkin and Connolly. That was the latest on-ice pairing. Doesn't mitigate what you're going to see from Alexander Ovechkin, I'm sure. So that top line of Washington is worth a risk if you're going to play in a contest as well. Goalie, probably going to stay away from a goalie in this one.
I totally agree. Pretty much on everything you said about the goalies, especially Tuukka Rask. He's a pretty dividing player. You either love him or hate him. I think you could even make that case in the city of Boston itself. I'm sure they get fans that love him, and some just think he's not good enough to take him to the promised land. I do think he's good enough to take him to the promised land, but against Ovechkin and Kuznetsov, no, I'm good. I'll stay away from Rask. I'm pretty certain of that. Holtby.
The other thing in this game that you want to keep an eye on is Boston's defensive pairings and how they're going to have to mix and match defensive pairings. With the announcement yesterday that Torrey Krug is probably going to miss 3 to 4 weeks, is how are you going to stack your defensemen, or how are you going to pair your defensemen up there, and who's going to move into that top power play assignment with Torrey Krug out.
Well, what I got right now is what I seen, realistically, what I just seen, I don't know, maybe an hour ago or something. With Krug being out, the 3 pairings are Chara, McAvoy, and then you got Moore and Carlo, and then Greltzik and Miller. I probably butchered that name, but something to that effect anyway. Are the three top, defensive pairings that they got gone. Which is why I also, with Krug being out, that's why I think that Washington can put up some goals. But alluding to what Jared said earlier with Holtby, I think you're being nice. Holtby was not good at all in the preseason. I mean, he's definitely not good enough to justify a $7,900 price tag, right? Going up against Boston. I can't do it. I'm not going to play a goalie from here, But on the same token, with Wilson being out, right? I don't want to play Conley at all. But I do think that line, if that's the way it comes out, and it is Ovechkin, Kuznetsov, and Conley, I really like Ovechkin and Kuznetsov a lot because I think they're going to have to pick up the slack that is going to be missing with Wilson. And like you said, Justin, the high energy, aggressive skating that he brings onto the ice. He's an edge player, right? I mean, he plays on the edge. He does create and cause injuries. You know, that's what he's going through right now. But in the same token, the intimidation that he brings, we haven't seen that kind of intimidation in quite some time in the NHL. So love him or hate him, agree with his play or disagree with his play, he changes the game.
Well, he drives their possession as well. He's the first guy in on the forecheck. He goes down into the dirty areas behind the net and goes and digs pucks. So he drives their possession as well. So it's not just an intimidation factor. His actual on ice value can't be understated with going in and retrieving pucks and being the first guy on the puck. I think that's an important aspect to his game as well that really helps open up the ice for guys like Ovechkin and Kuznetsov.
Okay. And Jared, what about Verona, Backstrom, and Oshie? Those third guys, if that's the way it comes out and they're on the second line together, you have any interest in them? Because we obviously, well, maybe not obviously, we're going to assume that those three guys, right, are going to match up against what Boston has as their second line of DeBrusk, Krejci, and Heinen.
Yeah, I mean, I like I would like Backstrom out of that combination. I think he might have the biggest effect on this game.
Backstrom? I would agree with that. Anything else you like? Any of the defensive pairings at all from Washington, or are you going to avoid the defensive pairings?
I'm going to avoid defensively in this one. I think there's other options out there that we'll talk about.
All right, well then let's move on to the third game then. Third game, we have the Calgary Flames heading into Vancouver to take on the Canucks. We got Calgary visiting team at minus 130 favorite, and then it's 5.5? Yeah, 5.5 goal over under. Justin, you want to go ahead and break that down?
This is a game that I am very excited to see. Calgary made such splash moves this offseason, adding James Neal as a primary goal scorer, Elias Lindblom to wing for somebody like Johnny Gaudreau on that top line, and Noah Hannafin, very underrated young defenseman, up and coming, probably going to be in the Norris conversation here a few years down the road. I like this matchup a lot. With Vancouver, this is their changing of the guard season, so to speak, with the Sedin twins now being retired. You got guys like Elias Pettersson coming up, great rookie, probably going to be a second or third line guy coming up. And then you have the other young guys like Bo Horvat and Brock Besser coming in, providing a great punch. These are two teams that are not as far apart as people may suspect. It looks on paper like Calgary has a distinct advantage, but I think Calgary is only going to be as good as Mike Smith is willing to carry them, and I think that's going to be a big deal and a big conversation as the season progresses.
Jared, what are you looking at here?
From a DFS, I think we got some great plays in this one. As Justin was saying there, with the big splash plays, I think that James Neal could probably fit in better in this team than he did with Vegas. I think he can grab this team by the horns and really be that number one good person on this team. Noah Hannafin, big shoes to fill losing Dougie Hamilton from last year. But I think that Calgary, certainly in the preseason, they were just scoring goals left and right. Johnny Gaudreau is a fantastic guy to watch. So I think you can expect to see Calgary putting up 4 to 5 goals in this game, and certainly some stats are in play.
And I'm right there with you. We talked earlier this week. I was on Calgary from pretty much the first time I opened the app and seen the slate. I love Calgary here. I really like that third line too. A lot. I mean, we are going to get Neil on the second power play line too. I agree with you. Neil is going to be real good for Calgary. But I'm not going to overlook the top 2 lines either. Gaudreau, Monahan, Lindholm, Kachuk, Backlund, and Frolic. I like them. And Justin, you and I talked earlier today. I like Mike Smith. I think he's going to be fine here. My only issue is I can't necessarily say that I agree with everything you guys said as far as Vancouver goes. I mean, I like their first line a little bit. I like Horvat's and what is it, Bozier? But that's pretty much it for me. I can't. Yeah, I'm not on Vancouver at all. I'm not going to play them guys. I'm not going to roster any of them at all. If I roster anybody, I'll be looking at Pouliot or Good Branston, something like that. Somebody cheap defenseman maybe, but I'm not even certain I'm going to do that.
Pettersson at 4,700. Yeah, I would take Pettersson at 4,700. He may be your Calder Trophy winner. That guy might win the Calder Trophy. He is a phenomenal rookie, centering a second, possibly a third line. He's going to get favorable matchups on the ice. Pettersson is going to be a great player in the NHL for a long time to come.
And I have to say I agree with you. I'm not at all going to argue that he's going to be a great player. But, yeah, I got to take the wait-and-see approach. I'm not going to invest any kind of money in him. Not yet, anyway. We'll see what he does here. Maybe next week we'll take a look at him again. But for tomorrow's slate, I can't. You want to take a shot on Pettersson and in that 250K, what is it, 60,000 entries or something like that in a big GPP tournament? I'm all for that. I see no reason to go there for a cash game. I will say that. Now, as far as Calgary's defensive pairings go, Giordano and Brody, Hannafin and Harmonic, dude, absolutely, right? I mean, how can we sit here and say that we don't want any part of them guys? Either one of them, too. I mean, look at the price on Brody, 4,400. We can make that work. Giordano's a little more expensive, right? At 5,400. I'd pay up. I'd pay up and take Giordano, I think. Jared, you interested in Giordano at all?
Looking at this slate, certainly. I'm probably going to take. I think I'd have the salary cap room for that 5,400 price tag. If I didn't, if I really saw an offensive powerhouse out there that's going to strap me for cash, I would probably look at like you said, the Harmonic, even Mark Stone there.
Yeah,
900 might be a good play.
Hamonic, Stone. Yeah, I like all them guys. I think they're going to be good plays. And what about Mike Smith? Any interest?
Interest for me, you just really nailed a good, solid defensive core. I think they've shored that up. Mike Smith, I think this year actually might be a good year for him. Now, maybe 10th to 12th in the league goaltender wise. One thing you got to watch out about is penalty kill. James Neal is on the Calgary Flames now, so you will be seeing them going on the penalty kill.
For sure.
Okay.
For sure.
Now let me ask you this. Do we think Mike Smith is going to see enough shots?
You brought me to my next point. Yeah, Vancouver has not, I think, preseason wise, because I'm really up on those stats because they are the latest stats. They were getting like 18 shots a game. So if you're in maybe the cash game, get that 3 points shored up for the win if you think they're going to win, but don't expect a high value for shots against them.
And this is going to be a popular game, I think. I wasn't thinking that early on, right? I kind of thought we were maybe going to get some lower ownership on Calgary, but I don't think so. I think that so far, before we move on to the last game of the slate here, I think we're going to see a lot of Toronto and Calgary lineups.
I think you're getting a lot of second line value from Calgary. Calgary's second line is going to match up very favorably against Vancouver, and they're probably going to generate the majority of Calgary's offense. So you could see a lot of Calgary's second line in this slate anyway.
I agree with that. Jared, do you agree with that?
Yeah, little teaser. They might be in some of my plays for sure.
Okay, let's go ahead and move on, and we'll head over to the last game of the slate here. We got Anaheim heading into San Jose. San Jose right now hovering around a -170 favorite. We got a 5.5 goal game with the over and under. I like this game as far as competitiveness. Justin, what are you looking at here?
Pro tip for you gamblers, take the over. You can even hedge 3 on the over because this game there's going to be goals scored in this game, and there's going to be goals to go around. Both of these teams are defensively challenged as far as sheer defense goes. But San Jose might be putting the best blue line on ice. Just think like of putting Bobby Orr and another elite goal scorer on the ice at the same time. And that's what you have in San Jose right now with Carlson and Brent Burns. That is an elite scoring blue line. Vlasic doesn't get enough credit for what he does in the blue line. You have a healthy Joe Thornton moving back up on the top line. You have Evander Kane with a full offseason to build into the San Jose system. Anaheim, without Corey Perry, you got a lot of young guys coming into the system and integrating themselves into the Anaheim Ducks. I just don't see it from Anaheim right now. I look for San Jose to be a heavy favorite in this game as far as point production goes.
From a DFS standpoint, this game, as you were saying there, Justin, I think shots is going to be the key of this game. And this, they play often out there on the West Coast. It's truly a fun game to watch between those teams. Great stacks on both sides of the team there. One thing to note, I did see in the update there today that Andre Cossé is out with a concussion. I think they'll feel the effects of that. He's been playing pretty good hockey. Sam Steele had a couple real good preseason games. I was able to watch him. He's going to actually be something on the road. He's going to be in play a couple games. I'm not sure this game might be the one, but boy, you did say with San Jose, they do. I think that defense is unmatched when you look at it. You can even throw in Braun there, even as a third defenseman. He gets a couple points a game usually. Real good at block shots. Do you put the cost on defense though? Because you better hope for that cheaper second line if you do want to run. If you do run this defensive pairing, I'm probably going to hold off Carlson. He came in late in the preseason. I really want to see how he meshes against that top quality NHL players. I mean, he has been in the league, but chemistry is everything really in this game. That means a lot. Cam Fowler, Anaheim, he's a great play for defense. Goalies, what Martin Jones are you going to get? That's the key. I mean, yeah, he could pop in for a shutout, but, especially with that defensive pairing in front of him. So, yeah, I think he could be a good play in a GPP game, especially knowing the shots that he's going to face here. But I'd say either way, make sure don't shoot yourself in the foot and choose Martin Jones and then stack it against the Anaheim offense. But I think in a GPP play, you might be able to go both ways. You've seen John Gibson got a big contract extension there, got paid over the offseason for his great performance. You can't ignore his performance last year as well. I think these are going to be your GPP plays, judging just where you hope it somehow ends up being someone getting 1 goal and 38 shots and your goalie gets that win. You're going to have a lot of points out there on the table for this one.
I don't disagree at all with most of it. Man, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to play Carlson. He's a hockey player, by nature, and he will absolutely mesh. It don't matter. Once he's on the ice, man, this cat can score with the best of them. He's an impressive player. I mean, how can you not love him? The only thing that's pushing me away is that price tag is $6,900, man. That's a tough ask for a defenseman. Will I do it? Yeah, probably in a lineup or two. I'll probably do it anyway. But I agree with you, Jared. I think Montour's the play here. 3,500, right? 3,800. I'm sorry, price tag. But it's look, 3,800. His last game. We're not looking at a lot of playing time. 28 minutes a game. He's averaging something like that. And if I can get 2 points out of him at 3,800, I'm going to take it. I like Fowler. I think them guys, as far as defense goes, the Anaheim guys are going to face a lot of shots, man. I mean, San Jose is going to light it up. They're built for that, Kane, Thornton, Pavelski, Meyer, Couture, Hurdle, Donskoy, Sumela, and LeBlanc. I mean, maybe that third line ain't going to put up nothing, but honestly, who's the third line facing? I mean, I agree, still played well in the preseason, but this isn't the preseason no more. This is for real. Paired up with Cogliano and Aberg. San Jose's top 2 lines are in play. Both power plays lines are in play. All 3 of their defensive pairings are in play. I think I'm on board with the consensus thoughts around the NHL and San Jose. I think they got a team. I think they want this, and I think that maybe they're feeling their windows closing and they're going for it. I like them. I'm going to play some of them. I'm going to probably end up playing the top power play line, to be honest with you. That's where I'm going to look. But this ain't my game. I really like that Calgary-Vancouver game, man. And as far as the goalies go, I can't disagree with anything you guys said, man. Martin Jones is good. He's in a great spot. But like Jared said, which one you're going to get? And I could see playing him in the GPP. If I'm building 5 lineups in a GPP, he'll be on one of them for certain. I take the chance, and it's not because of him. It is because of the defense or the entire offense of ice in front of him. That's why I would take him. And John Gibson, no interest, man. I mean, I would like to, but I would say the only way that you would play John Gibson would be in a hedge lineup against San Jose, hoping that San Jose is going to draw heavy ownership. I doubt it will be in the late slate or the late game on the slate, but that would be the only reason I would see to play Gibson. Jared, you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree that they're going to actually – you won't see a lot of John Gibson plays out there. And, yeah, you're right. You do see a lot of people that want to go to bed, I guess, knowing if they won or lost, that a lot of people tend to steer away from these late games. Maybe they just can't watch them. But for me, I'm a John Gibson fan. So I don't doubt any given night he can post a shutout. So –
Justin, you feel the same way about Gibson?
Gibson, I don't like Gibson in this matchup because I feel like San Jose has the ability to just turn it on offensively and not turn it off. I think their defensemen are going to be pinching on every rush. They're going to be playing deep in Anaheim zone, and I just don't see any scenario where Anaheim controls the flow of this game. Not with the way San Jose's defensemen are going to be playing.
Well, Jared, I think you're out there on a limb all by yourself with Gibson. So you can go ahead and take him at the 0.1% ownership that you're going to get him at, which I truly believe you're going to get him at, and roster him up. Let's get some final thoughts on this slate. Jared, we'll let you go first. All 4 games. What are you looking to see? What game are you looking to watch? Are you on that Boston-Washington game? Is that what you want to see, or do you want to see that Calgary-Vancouver game?
I think I really want to see the Calgary-Vancouver game. I think there's a lot more change that happened over this offseason that you're gonna get a lot more interest in seeing. Boston's kind of returning a lot of the same guys. I think they lost Riley Nash last year over the offseason for Boston. Aside from that, I don't see much change, and obviously Washington picked back up Brooks Orpik, so there's not much change there as well. So the Calgary, seeing what James Neal can do there, along with their great offseason. Is Dougie Hamilton going to be a big loss for them, or is Noah Hannafin and Lindholm going to be that price tag that they really needed? Vancouver, as I think Bozer got hurt for a good bit of time last year near the end of the season. So, how do they respond with Bo Horvat and Bozer, who really have to be the key to that organization moving forward, I believe.
Justin, what game you looking to watch? You looking probably all 4 of them, huh? But you got a favorite game here, one you really excited to see?
I think you can pick highlights out of each game and find reasons to watch everyone. John Tavares' debut in Toronto. What does Erik Karlsson bring for the San Jose Sharks? What does Anaheim look like without Corey Perry in the middle of that lineup? But for me, I think the most intriguing game on the slate is obviously Washington-Boston. It's a game that could decide the Eastern Conference. It could be an Eastern Conference final preview if the cards fall right. Not my projection, but both teams have their merits and they could definitely end up in those positions. So that's the game that I'm looking forward to the most. excited for the new look Calgary Flames, though. I am very excited for the new look Calgary Flames. Spoiler alert, in my Stanley Cup preview video, I did have the Calgary Flames making the playoffs, and you can check out that video on my channel and find out how I figure they do in the playoffs.
All right. My quick final thoughts on the whole slate, man. Yeah, I think you got to worry about, as far as from a DFS perspective, you got to worry about ownership. Ownership on Toronto. I think possibly ownership on Calgary. Their top power play line anyway. You're going to see heavy ownership, I think, on that defensive stack from San Jose. And it wouldn't surprise me to see Ovechkin upwards of 30-35% owned in most of your contests. I think, players are going to read the game the same all the way around. This slate, they're going to read the same anyway, as far as that goes. My goalie's Mike Smith, guys. That's my GPP goalie. My cash game goalie is going to be Anderson. Not going to go away from that, even at a first look perspective. Unless they're, for some unknown reason, they get scratched. The game I want to watch is Calgary-Vancouver. I'm going to see what Calgary got. Vancouver, obviously, they've already pretty much announced that they're rebuilding and they're starting over. But they got some good young pieces. Horvat, Bozer, both going to be impressive. Like you said, Justin, with Pedersen, he'll be all right. Calgary side of it, I think I'm going to target that second line. Kachuk, Backlund, Frolik, like all three of them guys. Jared, like you said, with Neil, he is going to be impressive in Calgary. I think he's going to have a better year this year than he did last year, all the way around. Numbers-wise, too. Why not? I think, we get an unforeseen injury with one of them top two lines, we can see Neil move up a line. It's not out of the realm of possibilities. As far as San Jose, like you said, Justin, the storylines there. Carlson, are we worried about any kind of animosity there at all? I mean, Burns has been the guy there for years, right? And Burns has pretty much anchored the team, not only the defense, the team too. I mean, do we think that Carlson is going to step in and be that lead guy now? They're going to share that lead spot? I mean, but what do you guys think is going to happen there?
Well, I think it gives them a versatility to play two number one defensemen. You don't have to pair your lines. That'll save minutes in the long run on the back end of the season for a guy like Burns, or even a guy like Carlson who's had injury history. So maybe, instead of having to play him 25, 26 minutes a game, now he's down in the 21, 22 minute or a game range. And I think that's better for both of them in the long run. I think the only question mark that's going to come is how they align their power play unit with a guy like Carlson and a guy like Burns, who are both very offensively gifted defensemen. And that's where the big question mark's going to come in, is who do you roll out on your PP1, or do you roll out two defensemen and play one of them offhand because they're both right-handed defensemen, so do you play one of them on the left side? That would be my biggest question mark for them.
Well, as of right now, a couple different sites I've looked at so far, they have actually, the way they got it listed right now, just regular defensive pairing, they got Carlson on the first pair, Burns on the second pair. But as far as power plays go, it's looking like they're reversed. And you got Burns on the first one, Carlson on the second. Now, is this etched in stone? That I can't guarantee. I don't and have anything to do with the website. I'm not affiliated with them at all. And I'm not even going to tell you who I'm looking at. But that's what they're projecting. So Burns being on that second pairing, right? But on the first power play pairing. But he's also more expensive by $100. So, I mean, both of them guys are in play. We like them, I guess. That's what we're looking to see anyway. I think that's pretty much all I got on the 4 games. If you guys don't have anything else, we'll move into the game. And before we get started onto the game, I got an added bonus you guys don't know about, but I'm throwing it in there. And you guys got no time to prepare for it. You got to just answer the question. First pick, Jared, we'll go with you, just because I wrote your name down first. Well, I guess we should explain it. Justin, Diamond stack. Looking for a stack, combined 12 points or more, which basically means all 3 guys on that stack need to have a good game. So you're looking for a top stack, okay? Then we have the Snowflake stack, Justin, which will be a top line team, top line pairing, and can only be a top line pairing that is going to totally bust and disappoint everyone. And last but not least, our Boulder Award. That'll be the goalie we think, and I'm pretty certain that we can't think that anyone will today, but we're looking for the goalie shutout. So out of these 8 guys, you got to name someone. Anyway, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into it. Jared, your diamond stack of the day. And we are keeping track of this.
Well, I got to keep on going with me being in the minority with the John Gibson. I'm going Raquel, Adam Henrique, and Sam Steele. That's a good power play line that Anaheim's going to run. A lot of shots are going to be taken. I think you get probably a couple goals. I'm anticipating a bad Martin Jones. They might win the game, but I think it's going to be a 5-4 type game on that. So you have it here. Power play line, Anaheim, diamond stack.
Justin.
Okay, let me see. Pulling up daily face-off here because I'm not sure. Yeah, okay. Give me diamond stack. Give me Marty Jones, Brent Burns, and Joe Pavelski.
Joe Burns. Okay.
Give me Pavelski, Burns, and Marty Jones.
All right. Sounds good to me. That's not a bad stack. I'm going off the rails here, guys. Not very far, though, right? I mean, not too far. I'm going to take the chalk, fellas. Give me, let me look it up here, make sure I'm right. I want Tavares, Matthews, and Marner from Toronto.
Is there $0 defenseman in the league? Because I don't think there's $0 defenseman. Because if you're stacking that, there's no way you can even put a defenseman on the ice.
Well, maybe so, but there's no money line in this game now, is there?
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay, Jared, your favorite, buddy. Give it to me. Who are your snowflake?
Well, I originally had down the Ovechkin, Kuznetsov, Connolly line, but really with Torrey Krug being just mentioned recently out, I think that's just too big a loss. So I updated that to the I think it's Bertschy, Horvat, Bozer line. Really, I just, like you said, with Vancouver rebuilding, I don't see any bright spot for that team this year. But they are the top line.
Right, and I agree with you. You took my pick. I should have went first. But that's okay. Justin, what do you got? Top line stack that's going to bust.
I got Alexander Ovechkin, Evgeny Kuznetsov, and Brent Connolly. I don't think they're going to score. I think that Washington's going to win that game, probably going to win that game 3-2, but I think it's all going to be depth and goaltending that wins them that game. I don't look for most center icemen that match up against Patrice Bergeron generally do not have a fun time on the ice, and I think the same is going to be said for Kuznetsov. So I've got the Washington line.
Backstrom gets that goal.
Backstrom will get that goal. I think I can't disagree with that. How can I argue that? Justin, I like the pick. I do. It's risky. It's out there, and you probably, man, 9 times out of 10 you're out there all by yourself on that pick, because I'm not taking that pick with you. Mine, I guess I'm left with nobody else, man. I'm gonna take Montreal's line 1. Tater, Denault, and Gallagher. I'm probably wrong. They're gonna score. But that's who I'm gonna take. That's all I'm left with. So my snowflake stack is gonna be the Montreal first line.
That's a cop-out.
What do you want me to do? I mean, I can't, I agree with what you're saying about Bergeron and Marchand, even Pasternak. I mean, I just can't, take them guys against Holtby because Holtby's been that bad. I'm definitely not going to take Marleau and Matthews. I mean, I'm in love with Calgary tomorrow, so I'm not taking Goudreau, Monahan, or Lindholm. Jared took my Vancouver stack, and I do think that Anaheim's going to score. So I'm process of elimination. I'm only left in Montreal, guys. It's only a 4-game slate here. Let's go to the Boulder Award. Jared, start us off, man. Good luck to you.
Carey Price. No, I'm just kidding you. No, I think actually the best chance is the Frederik Andersen pick with that Montreal last year. Last year they had 2 overtime games, I think, when they competed, and 2 shutouts with Toronto sweeping that series. But 2 shutouts last year out of 4. Anderson gets the shutout to start off the year.
I'm okay. I can't. You know what I mean? I took Montreal's line 1 as my snowflake stack, so hopefully you're right. And I will be rostering some Anderson too, so I'm not going to argue that at all. Justin,
no, go ahead. Don't let me paint you in a corner this time. Go ahead. Don't let me paint you in a corner.
No, okay. You want me to take my pick before you?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Man, I tell you what. I'm taking Mike Smith. You know what I mean? You guys should have known that. I like Mike Smith, and I'm telling you, I believe that Calgary's season is not based off the play of Monahan or Goudreau or Tkachuk or Backlund or Neal. I believe Calgary's season rides solely on the shoulders of Mike Smith and the way he plays. So let's go, Mike Smith. Post that shutout.
You can rewind the video about an hour ago whenever we were first breaking down this game, and I said that Calgary's entire season is going to be dictated by the play of Mike Smith.
I agree. I'm not going to disagree. I mean, how can I?
Yeah, I'm going with Martin Jones. I think the loss of Corey Perry will not go understated in Anaheim. I think they're going to have a hard time replacing what he's able to do. Getzlaf, they're still talking about whether or not he's 100%. I just don't see Anaheim scoring a lot of goals this year, and I see that starting in game 1. I'm going to take Marty Jones.
Fair enough, Marty Jones. Just so you know, he's not going to post a shutout, man. I don't think any of them are, to be honest with you. And here we go. Here's the question everybody wants to know. And I'm putting you on the spot. Who's winning it all? Jared, who you got winning the Stanley Cup this year?
Well, I was walking tonight there, and I was thinking to myself, with the offseason moves by San Jose, barring the injuries they've dealt with from their veterans, if it all goes well, they can do it. And I'm going to stick by that. I think this is the year that, puck possession, they're going to have a good amount of puck possession with those lines. And I think San Jose, crosses that hump.
I like it. I agree. They're not my pick, but I agree with everything you said. I do think that, like I said earlier, ownership is, in my opinion, they took the step. I think they're trying to win it all right now. This is their year. They believe it's their year, and they're going for it. Justin, who do you like? Stanley Cup final.
Well, I would tell your audience, but then they would not go back and watch my video on my channel that I just uploaded yesterday showing my Stanley Cup predictions. No, just kidding. The Winnipeg Jets. I have picked the Winnipeg Jets to win the Stanley Cup. I have picked the Winnipeg Jets to win this year's Stanley Cup since the day they were eliminated by the Vegas Golden Knights last year. They are too talented of a team offensively. Their defensive core, led by Dustin Byfuglien, is one of the more underrated groups in the league. And Connor Hellebuyck was a Vezina Trophy finalist this year for a reason, and he will continue that stellar play. And I think he's going to finish that off with a Vezina Trophy this year. And the Winnipeg Jets will win the Stanley Cup, and Dustin Byfuglien will be your Conn Smythe Trophy winner.
Well, you and every other NHL hockey analyst in the country believe that Hellebuyck is going to be the best goalie this year, but I disagree. Don't get me wrong, I like Hellebuyck. I do. But I think everybody just dismisses what Frederik Andersen did last year. And what I think he's capable of doing this year, and what the Maple Leafs organization has done to really bolster him. Because, I mean, honestly, he's going to play over 55 games, right? He could push 60 games this year, honestly, in the regular season with the rookie Sparks backing him up. And I think he can see just as many shots.
Or
more. We'll see. He could. I don't think that they did anything really to help their defense, drastically. He's still going to face shots. I mean, yeah, they went out and got Tavares, but they got Tavares to keep up with Vegas Golden Knights. I mean, scoring wise. With that being said, I guess put it off long enough. I'm a Pittsburgh Penguins fan. You guys are Pittsburgh Penguins fans. And sadly, all three of us are not going to pick the Pens. I do think the Pens are going to go into the playoffs. I think they're going to be second round elimination. And I think they're going to be knocked out by, if they end up making it to them and match up against them, Tampa Bay Lightning. I'm picking the Tampa Bay Lightning to win the Cup this year. Yzerman's built a team. It can't be argued. Tampa Bay is this is it, man. They're built to win, and I think this is their year, and I think they'll be able to do that as long as they don't have to play Florida in the playoffs. And with that being said, I guess that's our last pick of the night. Give us final thoughts on the show. Anything else we might have left out?
I think we got it all. Turn on your TV tomorrow, 7 o'clock. It's back. Hockey season.
Let me ask this, Jared. Before I let you go, how many lineups are you going to play tomorrow?
Well, the excitement's been brewing. I'm still getting over the angst of starting a bunch of lineups with turns out preseason guys that did play. So I'm hoping to rebound. I'm probably going to do 4 to 6 lineups. Nothing big cost-wise. They got some real exciting tournaments out there that are, I think this is actually a good slate for that lucky pick in the GPP poll. So I'm probably going to do 4 to 6.
I like it. Justin, overall, first of all, thanks for coming on the show. Again, you can check him out. Yinzer on Hockey YouTube channel. Follow Justin at SkiMiner36. He's always posting some kind of information about hockey, as you know, NHL. and do check out his channel, man. He's got some good insight, good opinions, and he touches a base on a lot of different stuff. Justin, you've done some videos, a little controversial, so to speak, maybe. Obviously, you've done videos on the Tom Wilson incidents, more than one. You were pretty outspoken on the Austin Reese hit, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I did a follow-up video after that. That hit. I did a video yesterday in regards to the more recent hit on Oscar Sundqvist of the St. Louis Blues, former Pittsburgh Penguin, by the way. He was our third prize for the Ryan Reeves trade that many people will forget. But yeah, Oscar Sundqvist is who the Penguins sent to St. Louis in exchange for Ryan Reeves. So yeah, I've been pretty outspoken on the whole topic of traumatic brain injuries, concussions, and head contact in general. I am not a fan of head contact in hockey or sports in general. And I just don't see a place for it in the NHL. I think if a guy can shoot a 3-inch puck through a 1-inch window, why can't they control their body enough to avoid collisions like this? And that's my take on collisions like that.
Fair enough. I guess, my final thoughts, and then we'll get out of here. It's been an hour. Holy shit. I am anxious to get this going, man. Jared, you and I both, we struggled through preseason, trying to get our games situated, trying to get everything together. Most of our time that we would normally spend on research was spent just trying to find out who was going to dress and who was going to play, and if they were going to dress, are they actually going to skate? It was absolutely, listen, I won't play preseason hockey again. I really don't play preseason anything on DFS as far as that goes. It's just too hard. With that being said, I agree. This isn't for an opening night. These 4 games are okay, man. I mean, we got debut Tavares in Toronto. We got the defending Stanley Cup champions going up against a real powerhouse of a team in the East in Boston. Tuukka Rask against Braden Holtby. That is, as far as that goes, one of our better goalie matchups of the night. Really anxious to see Calgary, Vancouver. Vancouver rebuilding young guys. I want to see them. I want to see, like you guys talked about earlier with Neil up in Calgary. That last game, Martin Jones and John Gibson, man, they're I don't want to say elite goalies in this league because I don't think anyone would agree and call them elite. But they're good goalies and damn good goalies, both of them. And, added in the Carlson narrative. It's going to be a fun-filled night, man. I think we're going to see a lot of goals scored. I don't think we're going to see a shutout. And honestly, I think in your games, your contests on DraftKings or FanDuel, I think you're going to see high scores posted. I really do. I think there's going to be a lot of scoring. And, I'm not going to be shocked to see that Calgary stack on a winning lineup tomorrow in a big GPP. And with that being said, talking about the GPP, I'm going to bring that up one more time. DraftKings is holding their $5 $250,000 guaranteed prize pool. We're looking at $50K to first. Sounds great, right? But there's one downfall. 59,453 entries. 4 games. I mean, think about that. Can you build a unique lineup that no one else is going to have? No. I think the winner of the 250K contest is going to tie. You might see 4, 5, 6 people tied for first. I mean, what do you think, Jared? Easily possible.
Oh yeah. It's such a small slate to have that contest.
Yeah, and I agree. So with that being said, if you're looking for any kind of a GPP or something like that, scroll down here. There was a $3 contest that I had seen last night that is also a single entry, if I'm not mistaken. Just try to find it here. No, it's not a single entry. It's a 3-entry max. Take a shot on this one. It's 1,981 entries. $5,000 guaranteed prize pool. The enforcer competition, enforcer contest. I think it's going to be real good. So that's where I'm going to be. I'm not going to play that 250K. Man, that 50,000 would be nice to win. I just can't see it. I can't see a unique lineup good enough to win that. So yeah, I'm not going to play that. I'm going to play, probably 3 to 5 lineups. I'll be heavy in the cash. I will play, like I said, the enforcer contest, the $3 entry, 3 max. I'll probably max that out too. But that's where I'll be. So with that being said, again, Justin, thanks for joining us. Jared, we'll see you tomorrow night for another slate breakdown. And enjoy the games tomorrow, guys. We'll see you all tomorrow.